Great. Are you able to maybe center up on the frame or move your camera a little bit?
It's a little.
There you go. Yep.
Is
Yep.
that a little
If you
better?
move, I don't know which way, but just a little bit. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Want to make you look good.
Thank you.
All right. So it looks like we're recording now. Let me make sure I've got my. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll just get right to the heart of it here. Wanting to hear your initial reaction to the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. I think this decision today, although I haven't read the final decision, I find to be very hopeful for our nation. Ever since the decision of 1973, the taking, which we believe as Catholic Christians, and we share this with many others, that life is sacred from conception to natural death. The recognition that this case being overturned, I think is, again, very hopeful to kind of helping people understand the dignity of the human person, which is based upon the sanctity of life. Now, here in Washington State, of course, prior to my arrival as bishop, and I've been bishop 7 years, I understand that the people voted in, so abortion will remain legal in Washington State. And nonetheless, I think the church has continued its efforts, and I'm originally from California, in really helping people see that the church here cares about the woman, the mom, not just during the 9 months of pregnancy, but during the time when the child is born. I know that's a big criticism, that the church or people of religion, in this case, only care about the mother when she's expected. But the minute that baby's born, it might be seen as a burden on society. And we have programs in place, not just Washington State, but Oregon. I was just talking to the Archbishop of Portland and other areas where we believe that it's important for us to support the mom and the baby up till, in this case, in our state, up to 5 years. So again, I found this decision hopeful. I think I'm also realistic that there's a great divide in this nation. But as the big term, follow the science, if you see, and this is different from 50 years ago, or even probably 20 years ago, the development of the fetus, the baby in the mother's womb, science shows at various stages, very early on, the development. So I think this is an affirmation of, and it's not meant to be vitriolic. I think it's meant to just to say that this is looked at what was bad law and reversed it. I'm very honest and realistic. It doesn't mean there will not be work still to be done, and there's going to be still a divide, but hopefully a peaceful way to support, and this is about supporting moms and the baby, and of course, certainly fathers.
And a big question we have for a lot of folks we're talking to today about this, about the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade is what happens next? So in your capacity, what do you see happening next? Maybe changes within the church or the diocese now that this decision has come down?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think what it falls upon the church to be very clear and very supportive of women who may find themselves in a crisis pregnancy, who may feel they have no other options, to show that we will be there to support that woman, that mom, with the child, not just during the time of pregnancy, but beyond. So I think we've been doing this, but I think we have to be much more vocal about it, because if I do find that criticism, it is, who is the Catholic Church to make this decision? Who's the church to hold this? But it's not just us. And I think it's very powerful when it comes from women themselves who have been the recipient of assistance, who can say, I thought this was my only option, abortion, but through the services of the church or a parish, I found out that they were there to help me. And I think we need to be more vocal about that. And we need to also recognize that this is still, again, as I mentioned, there's a time for healing and repairing of social divisions, which we recognize are very present.
Can you be specific as to what that support looks like, what
Sure.
that continued support, and what being more vocal looks like moving
Yeah,
forward?
when I visit, for example, I'm thinking of a parish in the northern part of the diocese where a group of women and men gather everything that's needed, from formula to diapers to taking the mom, finding the mom doctors to go to, taking them to the appointments, being with them. In the case where, when they come back from the hospital, actually staying with them, helping them prepare meals, basically because so often people, I think, feel they're isolated. And so in some of our parishes regionally, we have those type of services. And then through, Catholic Charities, those programs where they help men and women, moms and dads, how to parent, because sometimes, they're very young. Sometimes their home life has been less, that no one really parented for them. And how do we get vocal? Well, we talk about it. We have the priests in the pulpits talk about it. We have the bulletins. We have those people directly involved, because this is very much a ministry. I would call it a ministry founded by women, some of whom themselves early on have had abortions and realized that had they had this, they might not have chosen that. So I really believe it's an opportunity for the lay people, especially women who are involved in this ministry, to be very to be out there, to talk about it, to be not only talk about it, but most especially to do it.
And does this necessarily mean we might see the church more on the forefront of these conversations? I know you mentioned this is something that the church has been a part of and has kind of maintained its communication on, but do you think we'll see more presence of the church kind of part of that conversation?
I would hope so. I think because, again, this is going to be a time, as a priest before I was a bishop, women might come to me in confession and talk about abortion like that. And many times, I don't think any of the women who ever came to me ever did it lightly. Many times they were scared, they were young, they didn't think the family would understand. And I think it's for us to really show the mercy of Christ, the generosity, the compassion. And I think this is not a time to be, pointing the finger, but rather I think there to welcome and say, this is what we offer, regardless of whatever the religion someone is. Yeah.
And I wonder what that communication will look like. I mean, now that the decision has been overturned, will there be maybe, does this mean the church will maybe take a more diligent effort to reach those who are maybe considering with Washington state's laws, reaching out to those who are considering abortion, or maybe after the fact? I guess where will we find the church?
I think outreach? You're right. Where does the church? I think basically the best way is through the word of mouth, that people who know. I mean, as a priest, as a bishop, we know certain parts of our parishioners, but it's our parishioner. Maybe it's the workplace. Maybe it's someone in school. Maybe it's someone in the community. It's a relative. So I think really what this done is it will fall upon the church. And I think I would preach about this, and I would hope all the priests would, that we would say, look, this decision, we've been praying for this, we've been talking about this, we've been holding rallies. Now it's happened. Now we better show the compassionate, generous face of the church that we've been doing, but a lot of people don't know about it. And we better make sure that our actions match our words, because that's what's needed now.
I think that hits it on the head. Is there anything else that you'd like to add on this today?
No, I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you again for making the time.
All right, have a good day.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.